مرحبا واهلا وسهلا بالاسبوع الجديد في Polyglots week. اسمياتي لو ما عرفتوا، واليوم يوم الاثنين. My battery is dying, and if I wait to charge it, I don't know how late this video will be. So I'm going to do this video very quickly. And yeah. I would do it in Arabic, but again, it's kind of late here on the West Coast, so I mean most of you actually aren't even going to see this until Tuesday. But yeah, it's easier if I do this in English, no subtitles. But because of this, I promise, I swear, if I break this promise, you guys can make me do some sort of terrible challenge video or something. If I break this promise, next week's video will be in a foreign language and not something like French or Spanish, either Arabic or Persian or German or maybe even Russian. So this week's theme is non-existent. There actually is no theme. But I did sort of want to talk about, I don't know, just sort of pacing yourself in languages and planning your learning in a long-term way. So I started classes here. I've had class Thursday and Friday and then today, and things have gone alright. There are a lot of classes going on, and I think I will write a blog post update about it and link it down below once it's up. And anyways, one of the things that has been going back and forth is what Russian class should I be taking. I'm registered for elementary Russian 1, which is just, you know, our first day of class we would learn like A, M, U, D, Ga, and you know, we wrote words like Kto это? Это mama, это кот, and like really sort of boring things that I could have done years ago. However, I don't actually place into intermediate Russian. My level is not that good. I write decently, like with a dictionary, but I actually have no practical conversational skills. I also tried to speak with the director of the Russian program, and she was like, oh, we'll take Russian for heritage learners, except for I know somebody in that course. Well, I met somebody in that course, and they were like, no, we're learning how to spell too, because it's for people who speak but don't actually read or write or know grammar. And that's the things that I'm essentially the opposite. I read, you know, with a dictionary again, okay, write, I know grammar. And so really, like, I was talking to my TA today, who's really actually my professor. He runs my class, he's my instructor. And we both sort of agreed if there was something that was like Russian for advanced beginners or something along those lines, that it would be very much down my path. And it made me think about my options this summer were to go to Armenia, which I did, and there were a lot of things that came out of Armenia that were good and worthwhile. But one of my other options that came later, I mean much later, like I already had my money for Armenia, I would have had to return it and everything, was to come here and to do intensive elementary Russian during the summer. And I think I want to make this sort of statement that I'm about to make more of a warning or a rule for people who are further along in language learning like I am, who've done multiple languages, and you know, learn very quickly now, almost like it's a science or something. Consider courses like that when you're going to start a language at the very beginning, because now what I have to do is I have to sit through 9 months of my life slowly learning Russian and reviewing a lot of things I already know, when what I could have done is spend 12 weeks of my life doing a really intense elementary Russian course, which would have been awesome, and then come into intermediate Russian this year, have Russian done in literally 1 calendar year, and so I don't have to take courses the following year in Russian, and then also have been more comfortable with the pace and everything. Whereas now I'm, you know, in this pace, and it's okay for most people, it's just very boring for me. Luckily enough, UCLA's Russian program is very good. They have like mandatory weekly hours, sort of with a tutor that's awesome, and my instructor is wonderful, and he's offered to work with me extra in office hours and things so that I'm not entirely bored, which I think is good, because even, you know, next year when I take intermediate Russian or whatever, they're never going to teach me linguistic terms, and those are things that I also need to be able to read and write about, so maybe I can work on stuff like that with him. But I just wanted to sort of bring up that topic of consider always sort of where your placement is, not just by a test, but and sort of leveling as what course to take, but also consider the course and how fast it goes, how slow it goes, how often it meets, what you need to do in your free time. My Russian class is 3 times a week, and especially as slow as it's going right now, I don't know what to do. Like, I sit in class, and I'm bored, and then I spend 48 hours without Russian, and I go back to class and I'm bored again. And so I want to obviously make the most out of my learning, but the question is, how do you do that? Obviously, there are a lot of tips I can give and that I've given in past weeks and on my own channel on, music and reading and different things you can do, and I think I'm very much going to take advantage of my time with the tutor and my time with my instructor during office hours, and those will be my things to sort of extra push myself. But I just want to sort of caution others that when you enter a course or when you go to take a course, consider things like this. Are you the person that can handle an 8 to 12 week intensive course? Or are you a person that would flounder in that? I have friends who are decent at languages but can't handle that. It's too intense. And not everybody can. So that's just sort of something I was thinking about today, and it's late and I wanted to just give you a video. I do have more updates and things, but as I said, I might just write them, and I'll link them down below. I did do a video on my own language channel about my library, and you can click here on my face right now for it, and you should watch it. It's a bit long, but a lot of you have been asking about my library and what it looks like and how large it is, and a lot of very personal questions like that. And so I've showed it to you now. It's on the internet, it can't be taken away. So yes, that's sort of where I am right now. So I hope you're all having a good week, and I hope you're dealing alright with sort of the changes in the channel that you've been seeing. We're all sort of in processes of changing and our lives changing, so we're trying to keep this as smooth as possible with things for now. But that's it for now. Like, comment, subscribe. I will see you guys next week. Ooh, yalla, bye.